Verna from StampinNotes.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm coming to you today from my studio in western New York State in a little town called Canisteo. Actually, we live outside Canisteo on a farm. Anyways, I have a really pretty fun fold card to share with you today. It's easy, and you will especially enjoy it if you love to color. So come on in, grab your tea or coffee, and let's make a card. These are the cards I want to share with you today. Aren't they cute? Easy to make, fun to make if you love coloring. I think it's so relaxing. It says happy birthday. So what if you're a year older? You're fabulous. So this is a free stamp set actually for a celebration, which is once a year usually with Stampin' Up! And this is free with a $50 order. And there's a little catalog of free products. And this happens to be on page 6, this stamps. And if you don't have a catalog, you can go to my website at stampinnotes.com, and there's a link there where you can view the Spring Mini catalog and the Celebration Sale catalog. And this is the mini catalog, and we are going to be coloring on the True Love Designer Series paper. And it is on page 84 of the catalog, and this is that paper. Really beautiful. And I'm going to show you, here's a piece. I started coloring these to cut out to use on the front of cards. I'm going to show you how I color them. And there's all kinds of beautiful paper that you can color in this. And the blends that I'm using come in a set of 2 markers. And there's a light color and a dark color. And it's an alcohol marker, and the colors blend together when they dry, and they're just beautiful. I'm going to color one of these and show you how I do the blending. I usually start with a light, and I like to use the brush tip. There's a brush tip and a smaller bullet tip. And I'm gonna do the whole blossom, the whole flower in the light. And then I'm going to go back in with a dark and highlight. You can highlight where the artist drew those dark lines there. Or you can sometimes I highlight where the shadow probably would be. Okay. Well, I think I'll use the bullet tip for this, for finer work, and I'm just gonna come in like this. I'm gonna make that center dark. Then I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna highlight with the dark, or color over with the dark, some of these where the artist drew the lines. And actually I'm gonna make this petal darker. This is probably a little shadier, and you don't have to color in every single spot. It makes it look more natural if you don't. And I'm going to make this darker here. So we're shading on this side of the flower. Like that. And then I would come in with my green, probably Mossy Meadow or Granny Apple Green, and do the leaves the same way. So that will, as it dries, it will blend even more. It gives a nice, beautiful blended look. I don't know if you can see that. So I have already done one, and I have cut it out, fussy cut it out, just to be ready. And you can see I have left a little bit of white on the edges. It shows up better if you do leave a little white. And when you're fussy cutting, turn your paper instead of your scissors. Instead of going like this with your scissors, you'll get a smoother edge on that. And I've cut my cardstock at 5.5 by 8.5. I've scored it in the middle at 4 1/4. And then I have scored it at 2 1/8. And this makes a Z fold, as you can see. So the other things that you need for this is you need a piece of your designer series paper that's 4 by 3, You need a matte layer that's 4 1/8 by 3 1/8 to mount that on. You need a scrap piece of Whisper White for your tag and a piece of, excuse me, it's basic white now, that's 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside of your card. And as you can see, I have not finished coloring in this designer series paper. I wanted to show you how I do that. And I'm just gonna lay a scrap piece of black here. I'm gonna take my brush tip, and again, this is the light Highland Heather. Make sure I've got the light. Nope, this is the dark. All right, so I want the light. I'm bringing in the light Highland Heather, and I'm just gonna make long strokes across the front of this and color this in with the light Highland Heather. All right, so, and you can see that's a little darker than what I've already did earlier because this has dried. I'm gonna bring my dark in with my bullet tip and just darken the centers of some of these cabbage roses here. They look like a cabbage shaped rose. And I might go outside here. Again, some of this is going to be covered, so we don't want to spend a whole lot of time doing this, but just to give it a little bit of depth when you're looking at it. All right, so before we glue this down, I'm going to tie a piece of our black organza ribbon on there. This, I love this ribbon. Let me see, the official name is Glittered Organdy Ribbon, and I'm going to use about an 8-inch piece. And I'm going to tie this around, I'll show you a little trick. I'm going to tie this around one of my markers. And make a knot. Slide it off, and we have this little loop here. Take your loop, take your snips, and just cut that. And you have a nice little tails there instead of a big bow. So I'm going to take my designer series paper, and I want it on the left side of this, down probably about like that much. I'm going to flip this over and just use tape to tape that down. You could use a glue dot or even glue. I'm going to tape that down there. And take this side. See, that looks about right probably. Take that down. And I'm going to bring in my multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm going to lay this on the black matte layer. And you just need a thin amount of this. Here's my matte layer. Bringing this in. This is nice because I can move it around a little bit. Like that. All right, so we're ready to put this on our card base. This is our card base, our Z fold. Again, you can see it looks like a Z. And I'm going to put it on like this. So I only want to put glue on half of the back of this. I'm going to go just like this, not even quite over half. I'm going to layer this on the front where I want it. All right. I have a piece of designer series paper that is 5 1/4 by 1 3/4, and I'm going to just take and color in some of these little daisies here, and I'm using the bullet tip, and I believe this is the dark Highland Heather. I would love to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you hit subscribe and then hit the bell to get notifications for when I upload my next video tutorial. And always appreciate a thumbs up if you like the video. Celebration is only for 6 more days that you're able to order and get the free product from the mini catalog. But the mini catalog, the large catalog, they will be available till June. So this paper, the True Love Designer Series paper, will be available till June. All right, so this is going to go inside right here. And again, you can see where the ink bled through. And layer that in here. Okay. Now, let's finish the front of this. So I have stamped Happy Birthday. And again, this is a free product. It's from the Approaching Perfection stamp set. And I'm using this on the inside. So what if you're a year older? You're fabulous. I love that. And this one I love. If things really do get better with age, then you're approaching perfection. So there's some really nice sentiments on that. And I'm using the tailored tag punch here. We're going to punch out our Happy Birthday. That looks centered. And it's going to go here. I'm going to layer that on there with dimensional. And we're just going to put those on the back like that. We're sticking to my fingers. Yes, I should use my take a pic tool to get those off there. Okay, so this goes on here like this. Happy Birthday. And then we're going to bring in that beautiful rose, double rose. I guess it's 2 roses. I can pick it up here. I don't know if we want it like that. I kind of like it like that. Or that's pretty too. I think I'll go with that. So, and I like the leaf going on to the tag. And I'm going to use dimensions on this too, dimensionals. Now we're going to mount this on the card. Oops. I think I had it like that, kind of. Happy Birthday. And we need to put our center in, and then we'll come back in and put some gems on it to dress it up. And this is 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside, and I'm going to stamp this. This is with, so what if you're a year older, you're fabulous now. This is for the sentiment. When you close this, you don't want it way up at the top here. We want it kind of down towards this area so it's covered. So we're going to stamp it more towards the middle of the card. I'm going to tap, tap, tap. Just line it up here at the top on my grid, and then I can get a better sense of, okay, let's see how this one will be. Yep, that's good. And I'm lining it up with this paper, the edges. Okay. And now, how about some bling on the front here? We need a little bling. All right, so I've put one of our butterfly gems on there. And I'm going to come in with some rhinestones. And put a couple in the center of the roses here. Happy birthday. So what if you're a year older? You're fabulous. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Take care.